Hello everybody, it's TSB here, back with another video. If you're new to my channel, I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I really appreciate it. I am just so humbled by everybody who's supporting me in my endeavor to spread the word about kind of basic mental health and just different psychological things that can help people in their everyday lives. If you're new, please drop a like or subscribe for more and help me shape this channel. I definitely appreciate it. Today, I wanted to actually talk about one of the things that has been one of the most impactful experiences in my life, and that's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So if you have experience in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, I'd love to hear about it. Post a comment. Also, follow me on my Instagram or Twitter. But let's get into Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I've always been into various sports, so football, basketball, track, and after I graduated from college and started graduate school, I was just lifting, playing basketball, and eventually that got pretty old, kind of tired, old hat, just every day lifting, playing basketball, and I wanted something new, I wanted something different to challenge myself. And so one of my friends from high school had been encouraging me for a long time to start training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I never really had an interest in it because it just seemed weird to me, just rolling around on the ground with some other guys. Didn't sound like something that I really wanted to do. Well, I got so bored with lifting and basketball that I was like, hey, I might as well go take a class somewhere. So I ended up going to a couple of schools. At that time I was in Memphis, Tennessee, and I went to a school, I really had minimal experience with wrestling, so I just had a pretty good body awareness. I took a couple classes and I enjoyed it. And quickly I fell in love. It got to the point where I was training 5 to 6 days a week, and my whole life kind of revolved around Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I got to the point where I was competing pretty avidly. I competed in North American Grappling Association tournaments, won a few of those, competed in some no-gi tournaments, won some of those as well. So at that point, I was still a white belt when I was training and competing a lot. I didn't really get to compete as a blue belt. I started to get a lot of injuries, and that's kind of where I've been now. Is I've been injured a lot, and I haven't been able to complete or train consistently since being a blue belt. So I started back in 2010 training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and now it's 2017. So I guess 6 years I've been training for, because I've been hurt so much lately that I haven't been able to train. But today I wanted to talk about one of the life lessons that I've learned from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So I plan on making this kind of a multi-part series because there's so many things that I've learned from Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu that have really shaped my life and shaped how I approach many things in my life. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu shapes how I think about therapy when I work with my clients. It shapes how I deal with difficulties and adversity. It shapes so many things. So I want to start with one of the initial things that really is kind of thrown into your face when you start training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that is the concept of humility. When training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you are humbled. So I was a college athlete, and in that world, cockiness is a common thing. I wouldn't say I was the cockiest person, but I guess I might have bordered on that cockiness a little bit. And that comes from, as an athlete, you know that you need to be confident in order to be able to perform at your highest level, but you're not really trained in what that means to be truly confident. But Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu really changed that for me, and I was able to learn what true confidence means. And humility is actually where that starts. So from the first day training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, you are baptized by fire. So in most schools, you are engaging in the randori style training, the active sparring, from the first time you're in there. So you may have very little to no basis. You may have just had that one class, and that's all the experience you have in grappling of any sort. So you could be grappling with somebody who's been training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu for 4, 5, or even more years, and you're going to get your butt handed to you. You are getting your butt whooped day in and day out for the most part when you first start training. And it is tough to learn in that, I guess, in that experience, in that sort of experience for a lot of people early on. But the more that you continue on in the sport, you do learn. You learn when you're in a good position, you learn when you're in a bad position. You start to learn the principles behind Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and that's when you start to develop. But I think that initial process of being beat time after time after time again is really important for helping people to realize that, hey, there's always somebody better than me. But after you start to develop, you start to understand what you're good at, what your body type is best suited for, what you're not good at. And even as you get better, as you kind of earn rank and belts, as you get stripes, as you become a blue belt or whatever it may be, a purple belt, you continue to learn that, hey, I'm better, I can do more, I'm developing these strengths, but there are also people who are still better than me. You learn that there's always going to be somebody better, and you learn that there's always going to be somebody worse. And that's a humbling experience to truly have that understanding. And then on top of that, to have that awareness that you are not good at everything, and that other people are going to be better at various techniques, various parts of the grappling experience, and the fact that you can learn from anybody that you step on the mat with. And I think that is one of the most important and impactful parts of, or pieces of learning that I had, is that regardless of experience, regardless of age, you can learn from anybody. And this is true in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and true in life. And I want you to think about this. On a daily basis, how do you approach your relationships? Do you approach people who have less experience than you as people that you can't learn from? Do you approach people who have more experiences, those who are just stuck in their ways and don't have anything to provide to you? Something to think about, because I believe that we can learn from every single person with whom we come into contact with on a daily basis. And that's the true nature of humility, is being able to be aware of what we do know, be aware of what we don't know, being able to leverage those strengths and use them effectively, but also being able to approach and tackle our weaknesses and maybe turn our weaknesses into strengths, or to decrease and maybe even eliminate those weaknesses. But even more than that, we can learn from each and every person that we interact with on a daily basis. And having that humility to realize that we can learn from anybody with whom we interact, that is the nature of being able to truly grow each and every day as a person, to develop wholly. So I hope you take that with you tomorrow, and I hope we can make your tomorrow better than today. So if you like this video, please drop a like and subscribe, and I hope that your tomorrow definitely is better than today. You have a great one.